And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the lower bracket finals of Grand Platypus Open number 96. We are here to determine who faces off against Nice in the grand finals. And here we go. We are diving on in and sporting in the bottom left-hand corner of Alcyone. We have the South Korean Terran player living in the land of Japan. Oh my god. Things are putting me off. Representing team or clan Cranky. It is HonMonO. HonMonO, and spawning in the top right hand corner, going for a 12 pool, not just a 12 pool. Was this a 12-11? Or sorry, a 13-12? We have the red Zerg player from the land of Hong Kong representing the Juggernauts. It is GogojOey. I believe this was a 13-12 from our red Zerg player, or a 12-11. I think it was a 13-12. One or the other. Regardless, hyper-aggression coming out from our Zerg. We are rushing into Ling speed. We are not staying in gas. Interesting choice. We are not staying in gas, which means no Bane Bust, no Roach Flood, or no Roach Rush either. It is going to be Speedlings, and only Speedlings. Okay, the Lings are moving out across the map. Behind this, is GogojOey going to expand and transition? I do wonder, as HonMonO throws down a CC as a part of the wall. Okay, so HonMonO does this against Miyamika. So I'm curious if he has a similar kind of dynamic with GogojOey. HonMonO in this matchup, fun fact as well, because I know that we've been hyping up HonMonO as a very aggressive player, especially against Protoss, but against Zerg, that is when HonMonO whips it out and turns into Hon Macro instead. Very different kind of player. HonMonO, he's known for more straight up standard play against Zerg, and he can even play Mech as well. Mech has come out before. But now Reaper's coming in for a scout, is going to get eyes on the lack of gas being mined at the moment. We do have Ling speed kicking in, trying to dive on top of that Reaper, but the Reaper will escape. Oof. A little bit rough there from GogojOey. Meanwhile, he's turning back around with those Lings, but alas, the Reaper is safe. Oh my, that's crazy. No shot. GogojOey, he's looking for the Reaper, but the Reaper cannot be touched. For those wondering, this area of the map can only be accessed by a dropship or by a Reaper because it can go down the cliff. Otherwise, you have to mine through these minerals or go through these rocks. Oh my god, that's crazy. Meanwhile, Lings do get across the map. There isn't much at home to defend, but nah, there's one Marine. That is enough to hold on. And this early opener from GogojOey has not been worth it. He's going to be transitioning into a Roach Warren. Drone waddling back home. And yeah, I mean, I feel like we're just going for a follow-up all in. Meanwhile, the Reaper does slide it back into the main base. We get a full scout of the main. HonMonO does spot the Roach Warren, and we cancel the Roach Warren because we can't sneak that out. Not against HonMonO. GogojOey cancelling and going for a third base instead, which means GogojOey is forced into a long macro game. Meanwhile, HonMonO is reacting to what he scouted. We have Marauders on the way. He's rushing into Marauders, assuming that Roaches are in production. He's throwing down a bunker as well, so HonMonO is reacting quite heavily to what he has scouted. Little does he know that, oh, there we go, we scan the main, we see the lack of Roach Warren, and we stop Marauder production, we go back into Marines. Very wise scout. When it comes to these Southeast Asian Zerg players, it is very important to just stay on top of your scouting because of what we just saw. GogojOey, Miyamika, Ender, they're more than willing to cancel tech and to try to catch you off guard. So Hellions are going to be forced back, but they're doing a great job of just maintaining control of the map and denying creep. They get eyes on the third base. And back at home, HonMonO is just building up into a 2-1-1 setup. 3cc 2-1-1 at that. That's really interesting position for these eBays. The eBays are being thrown down. Looks like HonMonO just trying to wall off here, trying to set up a defensive position for this third. As the third base will soon be taken, and HonMonO is going for his first move out. Not just with the Marines, but he's also got Hellions to support him. Widowmine, a Marauder from earlier. Bit of a mistake Marauder, but it's fine. You know, it'll help against the Queens. And we'll see what GogojOey has here to work with. He's on 6 Queens. He's got a handful of Lings, not too many, unfortunately. Good target firing on the weakened Hellion. But HonMonO is breaking on through. He gets on top of the reinforcing Lings. Good unburrow on that Widowmine. And good retargeting, taking down the Queen. And it looks like HonMonO, he has too much. He's broken on through, getting into the middle line. GG gets called. And HonMonO will take game number 1. GG. GogojOey just didn't really have much of anything to defend. And the reason for that is because of the early game. GogojOey, he went for a 13-12 into a Roach Rush. And none of it was able to do, none of it dealt any damage. He wasn't able to get any worker kills. He wasn't able to delay the CC. His Roach follow-up was scouted and was cancelled. Like, at every turn, HonMonO was able to keep up with him and shut him down. GG. Really well played by HonMonO. And with that, he is 1 game away from advancing on to the Grand Finals. Oh. Okay. Just very quickly trying to set up the flags as we get into our next game. How can SE2 GM fall so far? Este starter. Battlegrounds. Craigasm. You're an animal, sad sack. You're an animal. Este sad sack. Oh. Good to see you, Poppy. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. As we're getting into our next game and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have our South Korean Terran player living in the land of Japan up 1-0 in this best of 3. It is HonMonO. And once again, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, going for a 13-12. 2 games in a row. We have the blue Zerg player from the land of Hong Kong. It is GogojOey. If at first you don't succeed, try again. And speaking of once again, we do have the racks here at the Reaper Cliff, which means we're going to be throwing down the CC as a part of the wall. Very safe opener here from HonMonO. I mentioned it earlier, but he does this very often against Miyamika because Miyamika is known for pull first. And I'm not saying that GogojOey is just like Miyamika, but they are good friends. They have been teammates for a long time. GogojOey can be very aggressive as well, just very similar to the Mio of the Micah. But yeah, HonMonO with his safe opener, he should be fine. Should be safe. Should be. 6 Lings are on the way. Meanwhile, back at home, we have that first Reaper in production. CC should be thrown down momentarily. Oh, HonMonO. Okay, we're good. I was like, is he going to throw it down on location? No, he is going to rally back up into the main and wall off here with it. Meanwhile, Lings are moving out across the map. We're under the water and the platypus, it's got its bubbles. It's very fitting. It's very fitting for this map. It looks natural. Quack. Quack, Poppy. Shatter, where's the other one? There it is. There it is. Shatter Shura, of course, for making our mascots. Shura. As a GogojOey, he's amassing his Lings, waiting for Ling speed to kick in. But we have a full wall off. We have a Marine on the way. The first Reaper is zooming across the map, and with this Reaper Scout, HonMonO will get eyes on what exactly has been going on. Dives into the main, sees the Lings, sees the lack of gas, or sees that 100 gas has already been mined. He's fully aware of the 13-12, and he's preparing back at home. Now, this time, GogojOey should be able to catch this Reaper. On the last map, on Alcyone. We saw that there was a safe area for the Reaper, but alas, there is no safe area on Oceanborn. Not here, not deep in the sea, and the Reaper will be hunted down. And this means it's going to be harder for HonMonO to scout the follow-up. If you remember, in game number 1, HonMonO, he dove into the main base. He sacrificed his Reaper to scout the Roach Warren. This time, there is no Reaper. So if we did have a weird follow-up, it's going to be harder for HonMonO to scout. Meanwhile, we do see a 3cc 2-1-1 setup, 3cc into a second Rax. So very economic, very similar to the previous game. In general, it's a very similar game to game 1 from both GogojOey and HonMonO. Oh, the squid. I think Leviathan? I don't know what that is. I'll go with squid. As HonMonO's just building up his forces. He does have a couple of Hellions as well. He's about to have 4. With 4 Hellions, he should be fine against this. These things shouldn't really pose too much of a threat to him, as long as HonMonO doesn't get surrounded. Meanwhile, GogojOey still hasn't pulled back into gas, so he's just droning, taking a third base. Despite what happened in game 1, GogojOey is going for a much more economic transition. We do scan the main, and we get eyes on the lack of additional gas mining. So even though it cost HonMonO a scan, now he knows for certain that, of course, he is going into a longer game. That's a macro follow-up. Now, HonMonO doesn't have to worry about defending. Doesn't have to worry about any kind of all-in. And the Hellions are moving out. Just trying to catch any straylings if possible. You know, GogojOey back at home. We're getting into our second gas, guys. We're going back into gas mining, working towards an Evo chamber for +1 carapace. Again, it is a 2-1-1 variation, so +1 carapace is going to be quite crucial here to help defend against the mass marines. And yeah, GogojOey is just trying to get into a longer game, into the mid game. Unfortunately, the opener for GogojOey is working against him, and it does disrupt his own economy. But there it is, there's +1 carapace in production. For those wondering, the reason why this is so important in this matchup against a bio composition is because this +1 defense applies to every single marine shot, and as you can imagine, the rate of fire of marines is very high, so that is why carapace is typically prioritized over melee, especially against 2-1-1 openers, which are, of course, very marine heavy. And here we go. Speaking of marine heavy, HonMonO, he's taking his third base. He's getting ready for a drop as well. That is 8 Hellions. This is a little bit unorthodox. Usually you stop Hellion production at 4 and you go for an add-on swap here for medevacs on the reactor, but no, HonMonO, he keeps the reactor on the factory and we're going for a Hellbat push. Okay. 3cc 2-1-1 Hellbat push, something that you don't see too often here, and this could catch GogojOey completely off guard. But he does have some safety banelings on the way. We have 7 queens available. GogojOey has the tools to defend. He should not die here. Ling counterattack does catch a couple of SCVs. Hellbats have morphed in. We'll see how good the target firing of HonMonO is. Can he focus out those banelings in time? So far, the banelings, they will connect with the Hellbats. Even with the Marines as well, but here comes the reinforcements. HonMonO, he's not slowing down, he's not stopping, but we have another wave of banelings coming in. Oof. And it looks like we just don't have enough Marines. We don't have enough to keep on pushing. GogojOey will barely hold. If those banelings were any worse, if there were even 4 or 5 more Marines left over, then we would be seeing queens die. But alas, GogojOey, he does hold, he does defend. And HonMonO has to turn back around and focus on the next step. He's going for a second factory, getting into additional medevac production. His third base is up and running. Now, we'll see if he takes a 4th base or if he goes for an 8 Rax. And that's a lot of Raxes. He's working up towards 6 Raxes for the time being. Still pretty standard. Do you have a Hellbat drop across the map? What is it? Heart of the Swarm? Innovation, is that you? Aye. Yeah, we do have a bit of a Hellbat drop here at the 4th base. Okay, this fourth is a little bit exposed and it is difficult to hold on to. The queens are going to rotate around and GogojOey will be able to hold on to that fourth, not just the fourth, but also a fifth as he is double expanding. It's going to be on HonMonO to stop that from happening. As GogojOey is working towards a Hydra Den, so Lingbane Hydra is the composition of choice from our Zerg player. As we do see HonMonO headed towards both of these fringe bases, trying to pull GogojOey apart and take down at least one of these bases. Oh, these Lings not having the best trade here, as the Lings are getting roasted. As the Lings go down, these Marines are going ham on this hatchery as well. The Baneling's going to be rolling on in. Will they connect? Hot pick up from HonMonO. GogojOey does protect both his fourth and his fifth. We'll keep them both alive. Behind this, we have a fusion core? What? We have a fusion core on the way here for HonMonO. Oh no! As the Banelings will connect and HonMonO loses a medevac full of Marines. Rough loss there from HonMonO. As he's going to be focusing on his push. Is that wait, is that that's the medevac upgrade, right? Yeah, I was trying to remember. I was like, I remember that there is a medevac upgrade, but I haven't seen anyone make it yet. Here we go, as the mines have since burrowed. Big shots are going to be going off. Once again, the Hellbats trading well against the Lings, and we may not even see that medevac upgrade come into play. As Banelings are rolling on forward, but they're going down one after the other. The spread is too good, and HonMonO is breaking through. He's getting on top of the Queens, getting on top of the Hydras. We have a couple more Banelings rolling in, but they will not connect. And HonMonO is pushing forward. Oh, the medevacs. Ay, ay, ay. As, yeah, GogojOey has been broken. The hatchery goes down. 16 drones as well. I believe it increases the healing rate of those medevacs, if I'm not mistaken. And HonMonO is going to be able to push on forward up this ramp. We do have a couple of Banelings waiting for him. GogojOey mustering up defense. Getting some decent connections. We have 5 more Banelings in production. GogojOey desperately trying to hold on. Behind this, we're getting into a Liberator range. Liberators as well. I was very confused about that fusion core, but yeah, just investing into that medevac upgrade. Guess worth it. I believe it like almost doubles the healing rate of medevacs, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sure someone has more details in the chat. As GogojOey is going to be rotating around. He did just take down a base and a mineral line, and now he can just rotate over towards that fifth. Creep is not going to be enough. Liberation zones have arrived. We have freedom! GogojOey, HonMonO just wants to let you... He just wants to set you free. Just wants you to be free, papi. As range is about to finish up, but Banelings roll in, crashing into Marauders. Oh! Decent connections on the Marines. But again, GogojOey, he just is up against the wall right now. He needs breathing room. He needs time. Oof. Massive Widowmine shots are going to be going off. Massive connections. And HonMonO is just not slowing down. He does have a 4th CC, now a 5th CC on the way. Not quite mining from them. But again, just trying to break GogojOey here and now. Lingbane coming in from behind. Oh god, but these liberation zones are going ham, not just on the Banelings, but also the Hydras. Yeah, and it looks like it's just become too much. HonMonO, he's broken the army for a 2nd time. And as a result, he will get on top of this hatchery. He will take down this base. The army's becoming a bit overstimmed. Oh, but we take down the Hydras and the Queens, and yeah, the hatchery's gonna fall. GG gets called. HonMonO takes the series 2-0, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations, HonMonO looking strong here in this matchup, and that's why I do appreciate HonMonO. He may be very cheesy and very aggressive against Protoss players. Here against Zerg, he has more standard openers into 3-base aggression, right? Where he's just constantly in your face, constantly trying to break you with Marines, with a bio army. If you survive, then HonMonO, he just turtles up, he just walls off. But we didn't quite get to that point, and I do think that a big reason as to why HonMonO was able to snowball out of control is that GogojOey, I'm not really too fond of his openers. Both games he went for 13-12s and he wasn't really able to accomplish too much. This does slow down his drone production, his saturation, his economy. Yeah, it just wasn't really ideal and didn't really do anything. I guess it forced HonMonO to be a little bit more defensive early on, but he's more than fine, like, opening up defensively anyway. I don't think you need to go for an early spawning pool to make HonMonO just throw down a CC on the high ground. I think he just does that by default. Regardless, GG, well played. Congratulations to HonMonO, as he has a chance at a rematch against Nice. We do have a rematch being set up with our final series, the Grand Finals, which will be a TVP.